All right, give it a minute for. Here we go. We got some people rolling in. I'm not surprised. I am not surprised that that happened. Yeah, I'll unplug the router because she wants her treats. I kind of had a feeling that was going to happen today. Really did, because I'm sure I was not making some people happy with my statements. But oh well, we'll go with take two here, and we'll give it a minute for some people to file in, and then we will continue on with our discussion. But so anyway, if it happens again, I just want to let you know that I will be right back on as soon as I possibly can be. I was talking about a nurse who. Oh, okay. All right. Well, we can go back from that point. That's not a problem. So we will just give it a minute. We're getting some people back in here. So anyway, I was talking um, again. So like I said, if there is an interruption again with the internet, um, it is what it is. I will get right back on. I'm not saying it's YouTube. Okay, I've been having issues with my internet connection. It is what it is. So just all right. So we're talking about a nurse down in New York City that was exposing what was going on down there, and she did documentation of it. And I do believe, well, I know she lost that job, and I do believe that her nursing license was taken away because she was telling things that they didn't want people to know. And that is not a good thing, not a good thing at all. But it happens. It happens all the times, folks. So, you know, I want to remind you of something. All right. She was a traveling nurse? Yes, Dawn. She was a traveling nurse. I want to remind you guys of something. And I gave you these numbers before. We're going to talk about two different things really quickly. Two different things. We're going to talk about people dying by gun violence every year. Every year in the United States, gun violence. I think they said, and I can't quote the number of this one. The other one I do know the number, but they said that every year between the ages of well, no, that was different. That was a different thing, and I'll tell you what that one was too. But I think it was 68,000 people per year die of gun violence. Now, what they like to do with that statistic is lump in all the people that committed suicide, right? So those people, if you decided to end your life with, a gun, they count that as gun violence. So, I guess if you hung yourself or you overdose with pills, that's okay. But only if it's gun violence do they put that into that statistic. Now, the other part of the statistic was that each year it said that children between the ages of 13 and 19, right, that 4,700 died a year with gun violence. Now, the telling statistic of that one was of those deaths that were committed, with the violence, right, in that age group, it said that 86% of the blacks that died of gun violence uh, in that age group was murder, right? They were killed by somebody else. So if you were 13 to 19 and you are black and you were killed by a gun in that age range, most likely somebody else killed you. It said 78% of the white kids that died by gun violence in that 13 to 19 age group was suicide. So I thought that was quite interesting. But the statistic that they don't talk about, and I will be more than happy to talk about it, medical mistakes that are made every single year. And I want you to let's go with the number and you tell me what should be the bigger concern in the country. Every single year, 371,000 people die because of medical mistakes. Overtired doctors, overtired nurses, whatever the case may be. On top of that number, another 420,000 are injured, are injured, permanently damaged each year. So we're talking about a statistic of 800,000 people every single year because of mistakes made by doctors, nurses, wrong medication, whatever the case may be. That's every year. So let's do the numbers. Okay, let's just go with the deaths. Let's go with the deaths and nothing else. 68,000 people a year die with gun violence. Okay, and that includes suicide. So that number realistically is not that high. 371,000 people a year are dying because of mistakes made by doctors and nurses and those type of things. So the question that I would have, what should be um, the bigger thing that we should be concerned about? What should we be concerned about? Should we be concerned about uh, interns, young doctors that are making their bones in a hospital, working 16, 17 hours a day, day after day after day, right? Or should we be concerned about nurses that are working double after double after double, or just even a 12-hour shift? I'm going to tell you what, if you've ever worked in the field, if you've ever worked in the field, 8 hours is a long day being a nurse, okay? And being in charge and making sure people are okay and taken care of. You get past that, you get up to 10, 12 hours. 12 hours, you can handle that, I guess, if you're younger. I noticed that as I got older, I didn't want to handle that anymore. But you talking 16 hours, you are not sharp, okay? You are not sharp at that point. And that is the concern. You get to that one area of the day and you are not sharp. You're not on top of your game. And that's a problem. That's a problem. And that's when mistakes happen. And it's not done, and I honestly believe that it's not done maliciously or with intent. Um, but mistakes are going to happen, guys. And so this happens all the time. But the thing you're going to hear about all the time, what you're going to hear about in the news, is the gun violence. Oh, the gun violence, the gun violence. All these people are dying because of gun violence. They don't talk about the other one, right? They don't talk about the other one. Why not? Don't you think that that would be something that really should be brought up and talked about? And maybe we should reevaluate what is an acceptable staffing minimums. I'm going to tell you a story, all right? And I know I do a lot of these stories and based on my own experiences and what I've seen in the field itself. Okay, so real quick, what do we have? 280 on the thumb or 280 in chat. We got 110 thumbs up. So again, if you have not shot a thumbs up yet, yeah, if you have surgery, have it early in the day. Exactly. Um, if you haven't shot a thumbs up yet, please do so to show support for the channel, and I do appreciate that. It does make a huge difference with the algorithm, so the more interaction that we have, the better it is for the channel. I thank you for that reason as well. Also, if you are not subscribed to the channel, I would ask you to please subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well, and thank you for that as well. I got to tell you really quickly before we move on here, and I'm going to talk about an experience that I witnessed, that I saw firsthand. And I couldn't tell you if it wasn't true, but this is 100% true. Just before that stream, the first one that I was doing went kaput. I was just about to say, hey, yeah, just so you guys know, again, if we have an issue, I'll be right back. And then it went bam. And I was like, ah, oh, because we were up to like 600 people in that chat. So, all right, true story. I was working for this nursing home, and I will tell you, I worked for that nursing home for 3 weeks and I quit. Okay. And I will tell you why. So they had a policy in this nursing home that, and I don't know how they got away with it, to be honest with you, but according to them, their staffing minimums were, they could be, I mean, it was ridiculous what their staffing minimums were okay being. Normally on an evening shift. Now we got to remember, okay, we got 48 people. 48 people on a unit. You got one nurse taking care of 24, the other nurse takes care of the other 24, and then you have these 5 CNAs. That was what it should have been, 5 CNAs. Because what you have happening is you have people that are Hoyer lifts. Well, when you're doing a Hoyer lift and putting somebody into bed with a Hoyer, you have to have 2 people in the room, two CNAs to do that. Okay. Now, their policy was if one of the nurses didn't show up for work, they expected you, the other nurse, to do the entire unit. Okay. Wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. It was a safety issue, and I would not do it. I refused to do it. There's not a freaking thing they could make me do. They couldn't make me take that other side. Couldn't make me do it. So I told them when I am finished with my side, I'm more than happy to go over and help on the other side, but I'm going to get my side done first. Believe me, 24 patients on an evening shift is more than enough. Meds, treatments, and all the stuff that you have to do. You're insanely busy. And the fact that, they tried to make you do 48 people was insane. Okay. Now, this particular night that I was working, we did have two nurses on, but we had three CNAs. Three CNAs. Now, of the three CNAs that we had, one was as worthless as tits on a bull. Okay. And that's being as nice as I possibly can be. All right. When I say worthless, I mean absolutely worthless. The other two were very experienced CNAs. They were awesome, very good CNAs. So, according to this company that ran this nursing home, and they had a whole bunch of nursing homes, that was the minimum that they were allowed to work on a unit. Three CNAs to take care of 45 people. All right. Now, most of the old folks after dinner, they want to go to bed. They're tired. They're older. They don't want to be up. They want to go to bed. So what happens is, they're like, they'll ring their bell and, they'll be like, okay, well, you know what? We're ready for bed. We want to go to bed. And the two solid CNAs were busy putting in the Hoyer people to bed. So now if you have 24 people on the unit, let's say you have 14 of that 48 that are Hoyers. Now you might have a couple people that are independent that can get themselves into bed or not get into bed, maybe. A lot of people were an assist because they were unsteady on their feet, they were a fall threat, they needed assistance getting into bed. Well, this one particular lady had rung the bell and said, I want to go to bed. And the CNA had come in. Now the other one, like when I say she was worthless, she might not. It would have been better if she wasn't even there. I mean, that's how helpful she was. Terrible. One of the worst CNAs I've seen in my entire life. So the two solid CNAs are busy getting all these Hoyer people into bed. And when I'm saying a Hoyer, we're talking dead weight, 300 plus pounds of human being that you have to get up, get them in, get them situated, make sure they're comfortable, and then you can go on to the next person. And they're busting their humps. These ladies were busting their humps. Well, one of the ladies on the unit wanted to go to bed, and because they didn't come in a timely manner to get her into bed, she ended up falling. Okay, and she shattered her elbow. I mean, absolutely shattered her elbow. And so here's something that you guys may not know. When you make a nursing note, when you do a nursing note, that's a permanent record. That's in the record. It's there, and that whoever's investigating anything that's going on is going to see that note. And I know that. I've been around a long time. I've been down the whole thing. So in my nursing note, I put in there, due to the lack of CNAs, this was an avoidable problem. This should have never happened. This lady fell, and it was basically because of negligence of the nursing home, not the staff that was there. The people that were there were doing the best that they could. Oh, they were pissed. They were pissed when they read my note, and they were like, you need to change that. And I'm like, I'm not changing it. I said, I stand by everything I said in that note. I said, if we'd have had enough people on this unit to take care of everybody, she would have never fallen. I go, that's a fact. I go, you know it, and I know it. Well, they didn't like that. You know what I mean? They didn't like that. But I'm not doing those kind of games. And I'm going to tell you why. Another reason why I would never do, well, there's several reasons why I would never try to do an entire unit by myself. And I will tell you what that is. Number one, it's unsafe for your patients. Number one, there's no way that one nurse safely, okay, safely can give meds, treatments to 48 people on an evening shift. On a night shift is different. Everybody's in bed. It's a lot lower, not a lot going on, and you can get away. And that's what they have. They have one night nurse, okay? But on an evening shift, forget about it, okay? So that was number one. And number two, the reason that I would never accept doing a whole unit by myself was if something happened on that unit, do you think that nursing home would say, hey, Ed, we got your back. We know that you were by yourself and, this accident happened. We got your back. No way. They would throw you under the bus so fast it would make your head spin because you know what they'll do? They'll go out and hire somebody else. I was like, we're going to do the egg count here, guys, shortly. I know we had a few minutes in between, so we'll do the egg count here in just a minute. Um, but again, yeah, I mean, and I'm going to tell you what, the majority of nurses, the majority of CNAs are very hardworking, compassionate people. Let me just say that right now, okay? I'm not saying that, are there not lazy ones that don't want to work? Of course there are. That you're going to find that in any field that you go into. But I'm going to say this, and I'm going to stand by this. I've worked with so many people through the years. I've worked with some great people, and I've worked with some that were useless. And so, believe me, when I was talking about the one CNA, she was useless. So, uh, but yeah, I just, you know, but that's reality, folks. Okay, and that is upper management not giving a crap and gonna watch their own butts and not take care of other people. It happens all the time, and it's sad. But because of those type of situations, that's where mistakes happen. That's where patients die, and not just in nursing homes. Okay, not just in nursing homes. When you have understaffing in hospitals, it's the same situation. When you don't have enough people, that's the problem. You know what I mean? That's the problem, and it's not going to change anytime soon. It's not going to change anytime soon. All right, let's go ahead. We'll do the egg count for you guys. I want to satisfy you. I want to keep you happy. So what do we got? 354 in the chat. We're gonna how many? If we're at 177 on thumbs up. So if you have not shot a thumbs up yet, which half of you have not, please do so to show support for the channel. And I thank you ahead of time. Go ahead and get your guesses in, guys. Again, it really does make a big difference with the algorithm. So I thank you for that reason as well. Also, if you are not subscribed to the channel, I'm watching the count here, guys. So just so you know, if you are not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. And thank you for doing that as well. So I'll give you guys a moment to get your guesses in. So yes or no for Miss Thickneck, and we will go from there. And it's a tell. It's a tell tonight. Yes, I did finally see a right answer. All right, we have a new first time winner too. I know this person has never won the egg count before. If you had the same guess, is AZ Watchwoman 7777 with two eggs and no thick neck today, then you are 100% correct. So congratulations to AZ Watchwoman 7777. You are the winner. You have won absolutely nothing, and you are happy about it. So that's a good thing. Yeah, they're just not laying. I guess yesterday they had a pretty good day yesterday, but for whatever reason, it seems like the last two live streams we had Friday. I think they only had two eggs on Friday as well. No, she has never won before. I would remember that name. So yeah, they should have brought in Asif. They should have brought in new birds this year, and they didn't. They only brought in a new rooster. Uh, I think next spring they're planning on getting new birds in there. So, but no, they changed the feed. So they definitely changed the feed because that was a problem before they were not laying, and once they changed the feed, their production went up. I think a lot of it is a lot of these girls are older girls now. You know, they miss you, Ed. Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I miss the chickens too. I really loved going out there and interacting with the chickens, and walking out there, and and go, hello, ladies, and they all come running. It was just fun. I enjoyed that. I'll get that back down here again. We just got to get a chicken coop built first here, so we will definitely do that. Yes, we have had Delbert. I think one time we had zero eggs, and I don't think anybody got it. I think I ended up having to tell everybody what it was. So, but Yeah, so I'm a ladies' man. Well, as long as they cluck and they have wings, I guess so. Or they have four legs, like my girl here. But anyway, guys, there is going back to what we is that a Willie Nelson shirt? Nope, nope. I'll show you. It looks like it though, doesn't it? So there we go. It's very warm. We did not get a tremendous amount of sunshine today, but it was still hot, and I didn't want to run the air conditioning because the batteries were at like 72%, and I'm like, I'm not running them down just to cool off the camper. And it's actually cooled off. We are at 83 in here right now, and it was like 91 earlier, so it's much nicer now. But yeah, but anyway, going back to what we were talking about earlier, I wanted to reiterate and get on this. When Biden is making the statement that he made, that they're talking about getting more vaccines made, and again, is this going to be? And here's this is a question. This is a question. Is it going to be another emergency release and no research done on this one as well, like the last one? That's a question. I think that's a legitimate question, right? Realistic testing of things is at least 5 years to truly know what the side effects are. So all those people that complied and did what they were told or coerced or whatever they had to do the first time and they got it, they are the long-term study. And I think it would be ironic and it would be quite interesting. Let's say, 5 years down the road, and I'm not saying this would be the case, not saying this would be the case, I'm just saying this would be ironic if it was, that if 5 years down the road, all these people that did this the first time, they all turned up sterile. Wouldn't that be interesting? Oops, sorry, we didn't realize this was a terrible side effect. It didn't come out for several years, and now, yep, no more kids from any of you. That would be interesting. Boy, there'd be a high demand for those of us that didn't, wouldn't there be? They'd be like, okay, everybody that hasn't, please come together. We need to make more babies. And I will tell you, folks, I would humbly do my part, to help repopulate. uh, hey, taking one for the team, right? Why not? Oh my God. So, but yeah, it's all joking aside. I mean, nobody really knows what the long term side effects of these things are going to be. They don't because they have done no research on it. So, that's the reality. You know, mighty fine of me. I thought so, ADK man. I'm like I said, I'm a team player. I'm willing to sacrifice. Oh my God, that's too funny. But hey, I even bang them out two at a time. I don't screw around. You know what I mean? I got the twins there, so I just don't give them one baby at a time. I pop two in there. Uh, child support would be massive. You think? Oh my God, that's too funny. Worker B. That's right, Wendy. That's right. Doing my part for society. Uh, that's funny. But the reality is this: who knows what these people have planned moving forward? We don't know. Um, that's scary, to be honest with you. That's absolutely scary. When he's saying, and the way he worded it again, we got it in the works to have another vaccine coming out that everyone will take. How do you figure that? You know what I mean? How do you figure that? Unless you're kidnapping people, holding them down, and forcing them to do it, I don't think that's going to be a possibility. So, but you know, I did nothing the first time. Walked out in public with no mask on. Went to the store with no mask on. Went to Sturgis, right? Remember 2 years ago I went to Sturgis. Oh, the super spreader, and it's amazing. I'm still here. How is that even possible? I don't know. I just I guess I must just be lucky. That's what it must be. I did my part. I had 9 kids, and at 45, we'll have 10 grandkids. Wow. Yeah, that's whew. Ed would help out with a weary smile on his face. Absolutely, yes, absolutely. Morning light. But yes, and that was the other thing. Let's talk about that for a second, right? Oh, that was something else that I wanted to talk about. So actually it brought it back to what I was going to say. So you couldn't peaceably assemble to protest, but if you were rioting, that was absolutely fine, right? That was perfectly fine. Those people could all get together and burn things down and destroy cities and not wear masks, and that was perfectly okay because they were protesting the injustice of this, that, or the other thing. But when anybody else was getting together to protest, no, it can happen. We're talking about two protests that happened and the results of those two protests. Let's talk about Canada, the trucker strike, right? Very organized. They had legitimate grievances, and so they did the drive across the country to Ottawa, to the capital, and they all kind of hung out. No violence, right? No violence. They were picking up after themselves. And how did the Canadian government react to that? Right? Who remembers how the Canadian government reacted to that? They froze bank accounts. They arrested people. They towed trucks, left them out, put the windows down so they would be destroyed on the inside, right? Remember all that? Those people were treated like complete criminals and how horrible they stole their money. Yeah, yeah. Like I said, froze the bank account, seized the trucks, did all that, and then Trudeau put in the act of like that emergency act, and I can't remember what it was. Basically, saying that they were trying to overthrow things, and then because and who knows if it was true or not, took their kids. ADK man said, I did not realize that. That doesn't surprise me because that's a tool that's used as well to get people to comply and be under control. Um, they I can't remember what he enacted, but he enacted it. Emergency Measures Act. Thank you, Janet. I knew one of my Canadian people would remember what they did, and that was ridiculous as well. Okay, that was ridiculous as well. But because it was something that they didn't agree with, they shut that crap down and they treated those people horribly. Now we'll go back and talk, briefly, January 6th. How have those people been treated, right? Uh, you know, People that went into the Capitol building again, and I will say it a million times, should have never done it. Absolutely wrong on their part. But do they deserve? Now, this is a question. This is a question. Do they deserve to have their lives destroyed because they walked into a building if they didn't destroy anything, if they didn't hurt anybody, if they didn't beat anybody up, right? Uh, you know, do they deserve to have their lives destroyed? To be sitting in a jail cell, and then the DOJ just charged a couple hundred more people with January 6th. Think about that. Think about that, guys. But yet, leading up to the election, we had, let's just go with Portland. How many months was that nonsense going on in Portland? Yeah, for trespassing, exact. Well, sedition, trying to overthrow the government. They come up with all the fancy words that they used. But yeah, Okie Ford said, but the security guard was waving them into the building. Allegedly, Okie Forge, allegedly. Yeah, no, but my point is this: when you have a group of people that are violent and hurting people and setting fires and doing that, was now here's a question that I have: was the Capitol building set on fire? Right. What I saw in video, that we had people go into the halls and do what they did, but there was ropes, and people were walking within those ropes. They weren't tearing everything up and destroying everything and breaking everything in sight, you know. But again, those people's lives are destroyed, ruined. Their reputation is ruined. They're locked up. That, all those type of things. Not a good situation at all. Not a good situation at all. What do we got? 348 in the chat now. We're at 222 on the thumbs up. So again, if you have not shot a thumbs up yet, I'm going to ask you to please do so to show support for the channel. And I thank you ahead of time for doing that. Again, it really makes a huge difference with the algorithms. And I thought that was what the people's house. So how was that trespassing? I don't know, Don. I don't have the answers for those ones. Again, if you are not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe also. Make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. So, yeah, it's interesting. It is interesting. Hey, Asif, you can take millions from the Russian and Chinese government for favors, and not happens to you if you are the correct. Nothing happens to you if you're the correct political party. Well, yeah, I appreciate the statement. Thank you again for the donation. Very much appreciated. But yeah, it's just it seems that certain people get away with a lot of stuff, and other ones are not getting away with anything, and being overcharged or whatever the case may be. Who knows? Who knows? So, all right, let's go ahead and we're going to do some shout outs. So let's keep those thumbs up coming. Let's get that number up higher. All right, first of all, we have Heavenly Hills Homestead. I would ask you to go please support them. They're a nice young couple doing their thing here in West Virginia. We have Icky Can up in Canada doing his thing up there. I like Icky Can. He's a good guy. Yeah, we did an egg count. It was 2 eggs today, Village Homestead, and no for Mystic Neck. We have Angry Prepper down in New York City. That is Jason. There is Alaska Prepper, and that's Rudy up in Alaska as well. Good guy. There is Alaska Granny. You have Sean James with the Sean James channel and Myself Reliance, 2 different channels. Same guy, building up in Canada. Really interesting to watch him do his thing up there. Definitely check him out and support him. There is Demcad. You have Corporal's Corner. You have Bjorn Hansen, 80K Man up in the Adirondacks. There is Bidge the Rigid Jizza, who does the Carrington Chronicles. There is Magic Prepper in North Dakota. You have Wrangle Star. That's Cody. Real good channel there. Definitely go show him some support over there. There is Red Poppy Ranch. You have Survival Lily over in Europe. There's Kyle's Cabin. That's Kyle and Sierra up in Minnesota doing their thing up there. There is Bush Radical and Girl in the Woods, husband and wife team. 2 different channels doing their thing between Michigan and Alaska. Very interesting to watch them. Let's see, we have Green Greg's. Green Greg's another good channel. You have Southern Prepper 1 with his Boots on the Ground series. Very interesting to watch that. There is Gray Man Prepping. You have St. Bernard Acres with Joe. There is Doug and Stacy. Doug and Stacy have been around for a while. Good channel, good information on their channel. The Nomadic Movement down in Panama. Nice young couple down there doing their thing. There's the Green Dream Project. They are out in Arizona doing their thing out there. You have Camping with Steve Wallace doing stealth camping up in Canada. Real good guy, definitely fun to watch. There's Bush Doctor Survival. You have Monkey Works. You have the Needy Homesteader. She's been around a long time. Real good channel as well. There is Boss of the Swamp. Really interesting to watch him build. He's an amazing builder, so definitely check him out as well. There is Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project. Real smart guy. Anything you want to know about the Grand Solar Minimum, he is definitely the guy to check out. There is Patera with the Appalachian Homestead. You have City Prepper. There is Lumina Acres, Suspicious Observer, Bear Independent, The Uneducated Economist. There is Bushcraft Bear in the Canary Islands of La Palma. Mary Greeley News, giving you all the latest updates of Yellowstone and everything that is going on there. There is Adapt 2030. You have Malachi's Corner. There is Ice Age Farmer. If you are going to get your weather, there's only one guy you should be getting your weather from, and that is Ryan Hall Y'all. Ryan Hall's a good guy. Definitely check him out. He's very passionate about the weather, but he's also gives back to the community in a huge way. There is Russell Brand. I like Russell Brand. He gives you the information and then lets you decide what you want to do with it. Deep South Homestead, another very family friendly oriented channel. Definitely check them out as well. You have The Outsider. There is The Fit Farmer. There is Prep Rebel. Simple Life Reclaimed. There's Townsend showing you what it's like to live in the 1800s. The Prepared Mind. There's Pinball Preparedness down in Tennessee. East Tennessee Preparedness. The Economic Ninja. And last but not least, Little House Off Griddy, also down in Tennessee. A lot of good channels out there, a lot of good information. Again, I do believe we should be supporting each other. I think that that's important to do. And I'm going to encourage you guys to continue to do that. So, um, the Whitakers, yeah, that's an interesting group right there, Paul and Eugene. They're very interesting, that family. Over in Boone County. So, anyhow, we don't know, guys, what the game plan is, but when you see Biden say what he said in the statement that he made, and we talked about the statement earlier in the first stream and in this one, we need to be concerned about that. And I really believe that we need to be as prepared as we possibly can be. If there is further lockdowns, you want to be able to be in a comfort zone where you're not having to worry about leaving and dealing with the stupidity that is going to be involved with something like that. It is, it's definitely something that you got to pay attention to, and you got to be as ready as you possibly can be for that. Yeah, keep a close watch. Brick just said keep a close watch on limits at the stores now. That's a good point. That is a good point. Definitely have to, pay attention to what is going on, what they're doing. What temp does your battery room stay? Is it okay to keep food in cans stored? Um, well, I have canned goods in there right now. Yeah, it does get warmer in the summertime. The game plan, Critter Lover Jesse, is eventually everything will be underground once we have the bunker, you know, in more and we're dug in. I want to have everything under there because it's going to be a constant temperature at that point in time. Now, the game plan is also this, just to give you a heads up of what my thought process is. Once we have an area cleared out where we can actually start putting storage underground in the bunker, okay, I will go and I will reload with all new stuff, all kinds of canned goods, and those type of things, because then we're going to be storing them at a constant temperature of 58 degrees, and so that's the game plan for that. What we have now. I've been utilizing the stuff in the battery room. I eat it. I have not had an issue with it yet. Now I will tell you, please watch for two things. Okay, if you pull a can out and it is swollen, right? If that can is swollen, that is a good chance that that food in that can is not any good. The other indication would be you pull the top off, you open that can up, and that smell hits you, and it is not a good smell. Get rid of it. Get rid of it, okay? Because it's not gonna be good, and you might get sick, and it might kill you. Now, 80K man says long-term storage, freeze-dried foods. Absolutely, 100%. I have a tremendous amount of freeze-dried foods. Those do really, really well. They do really well. So, again, if you can keep them in a cool, dry place, that's great. That's ideal. And so, like I said, again, the long-term game plan for me personally, for my group, is once we get underground and open things up and get that really going, is to be in that position to start storing stuff in there. Yeah, if the can is swollen, I won't even open it. I don't blame you, Okie Forge. And I actually just, when I was out in the battery room the other day, I had purchased some canned meat, and I'll show you. I'll show you what it looks like. And I'm thinking that the canned meat that I bought, and I will show you what I got. And because of the fluctuating temperatures in the battery room, I think that went bad. And I was like, because it's expensive. That canned meat is expensive, and I'll do a video on that and I'll show you. But I don't think that that's any good because both ends of the can seem to be pushed out. So yeah, I'm thinking that that is not a good thing. But I'm going to always continue to encourage you guys to prep, get ready, be as ready as you possibly can be. Uh, we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know what the next thing is going to be. I mean, maybe the next thing that comes out has a much higher death rate. That's a good way to keep people under control, don't you think? If you got 20 to 30% of the population dying because of whatever comes next, and I'm not saying it's being released on purpose or not, not saying that. So I don't put words into my mouth. I'm not trying to share or spread misinformation. I'm just a good way to keep people locked down and under control and get them to comply with. So again, it's all about choices. You, I have a choice. I already know where I'm at, and I already know what I'm doing. And I'm not going to judge you for whatever choices you feel like you have to make. Okay, you have to do what you have to do. So there's never going to be like, oh my God, you're an idiot because you did this. Now, may I think in my head, you're an idiot because you did this? Sure, I probably will. Okay, but I'm not going to tell you that because who am I to judge you? I'm not in your shoes. So you probably think some people may think that I'm an idiot because I never did. What are you doing? What, baby? She's right here, wanting love. So anyway, let's do this. We're at 320 in the chat, 270 on the thumbs up. Let's go for let's 30 more thumbs up. Let's hit 300 thumbs up on this one. So if you have not shot a thumbs up yet, excuse me, please do so to show support for the channel. And I thank you ahead of time. And again, it really does make a big difference with the algorithms. So I appreciate it for that reason as well. So where is everybody from tonight? We got Scotland with Carolyn House. That hurts, Ella. Thank you very much. Um, she's a child. So we are Legion. We're all over. Where is everybody from? We have Franklin County, Ohio, Troutman, North Carolina with Troy, Philip in Melbourne, Australia in the house, Nowhere, Oklahoma with Okie Forge, Brick in Pennsylvania, Inverness, Florida with Clyde in the house. We have Michigan, Hillsboro, Oregon with Chewy. Las Vegas is in the house. Love Vegas. The beautiful Pennsylvania Wilds with Pennsyltucky Granny. The ADK Man up in the Adirondacks. Dawn up in the UP of Michigan. West coast of Florida with Rhonda. East Central Illinois. BC, Canada with Emil. Greenlee County, Arizona. We have Critter Lover in Virginia. Christopher in Wisconsin. Stephanie is in Pennsyltucky as well. Appalachian Junction, Arizona. Very nice. Texas with Dust Devil. Waterloo, New York with Sharon. Canton, Ohio with Chad. Nashville, Tennessee. Love Nashville. Been to the Grand Ole Opry. Loved it. Fantastic time. Sean the Englishman in Chatham in Canada. Raleigh, North Carolina with Terrence. North Carolina Foothills with Little Lone Prepper. Mantorville, Minnesota with Kent. Omaha, Nebraska with Larry. West Central Ohio with Dale. Campbell, Missouri with Antonio. Birdsboro, Pennsylvania with Melissa. Bay of Islands, Newfoundland with Mar. Northern California with Marvin. Sorry, man. Awesome, New Hampshire with Brenda. Ballinger, Texas with Triple F. Ulster Park, New York with Francine. Fort Worth, Texas with Sonia. So all over the place, guys, all over the country, all over the world. Huge network of us. We're a huge, huge family. We have Atlanta, Georgia with Wireless Plum. Central New York with Village Homestead. Northwest Indiana with Robert. We got Penny up in Maine. So, guys, again, we're all over the country, all over the world. We're a huge network of people. We're truly the ones that are awake. We can make a difference now, and we can make a difference afterwards, too. More so afterwards, because people will be much more receptive then. We got Morning Light in West Virginia. Washington State with Renee. Virginia Beach. with Diana. So, yeah, Florida's getting ready to get hit with a Category 4. They've upgraded it. It looks like it's going to be a bad one. I would encourage anybody down in Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, make sure your generator's working properly. Make sure you have plenty of extra gas on hand. Get a couple extra gas cans of gas. Have it there just in case because you never know. So we got 289. We need, no, 288 now. We need 12 more thumbs up, guys. 12 more thumbs up. So if you have not done so yet, please do so, and I do appreciate that. But definitely check your preps, check what you have, make sure that you are as ready as you possibly can be. These hurricanes are no joke. Anybody that sat in line waiting for gas and all that type of stuff, not any fun. So being prepared ahead of time puts you in a better position because of those situations. So I want to thank my moderators who do an absolutely incredible job keeping the chat clean. Ladies and gentlemen that moderate for me, thank you very much for what you do. It's a Cat 4 now. I don't think it's a Cat 4 already, but they're saying it's going to be a Cat 4. And expect gas prices to go up. Well, of course, that's always something that happens. But also, guys, um, I thank all of you for being here, supporting the channel. It means a lot to me. It's a lot of fun. I enjoy these chats. I like sharing information, and hopefully people learn something. And maybe I didn't say it was a Category 4. They're saying that it's going to be a Category 4, Tom. Okay, I never said it was a Category 4.